so interesting with a lot of these secondary players. There's a couple of good safeties, a couple of good corners that a lot of people think are going to be drafted really, really early in the first round. There is a corner that everybody's been talking about. His freshman year was unbelievable, remarkable, 5-star recruit, sensational player. He gets hurt his sophomore year. He misses his whole sophomore year. And you know who I'm talking about, Derek Stingley Jr. And a lot of people think that the Jets sitting there at 4 or sitting there at 10 if he falls to them, if the Eagles don't try to move up and try to snag him up. Mm-hmm. Derek Stingley is a guy that a lot of teams will be interested in, a Jalen Ramsey type of player, obviously a guy like Darrelle Revis. Why is everybody thinking that this kid is going to fall out of the top 10 all of a sudden when everybody thought he was a predominant top 3 pick?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's interesting to me. I don't evaluate guys in the secondary as closely as I do guys on the offensive side of the ball. But Stingley is a guy that you don't have to have an expertise, right, to see him just at times absolutely shut down the field. Super athletic, you mentioned it. There was a reason he was starting for LSU as a true freshman, right, and just being an absolute shutdown corner. And much like the entire LSU program, he's had some ups and downs here over the last couple of years following the national championship. But I think it's an interesting question whenever you're looking at a team. I think there needs to be a real positional need for an NFL team to draft any member of the secondary, right, with the top 4 pick, top 5 pick. And so that's why I think you're starting to see Stingley. If you're looking at mock drafts, if you're talking to different folks, you could see him swing in a lot of different directions. But I think the trend over the last couple of years in general has been not valuing secondary as high. That being said, I think for me, Stingley, Kyle Hamilton, the free safety is just absolutely ridiculous. I think both those guys end up being top 10 picks one way or another. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the tape evaluation. He's put really good tape out there, and it's going to come down to the athleticism. I think an NFL team is going to go for it.
So hybrid players have becoming a big norm in today's game on both sides of the ball, and they're being drafted a lot higher. Kyle Pitts last year going number 4 to Atlanta. Is he a tight end? Is he a wide receiver? And then in 2020, the guy I wanted the Giants to take was Isaiah Simmons. He could play both linebacker, corner, safety, whatever. So do you think that'll become more of a norm and also be drafted earlier if they are quote-unquote hybrid players like you're seeing these two players? And if so, how long do you think that trend will take to become that norm?
Yeah, that's great. I was pounding the table for Isaiah Simmons that year too, but alas, that would have been too good of a pick for us. When I'm
they probably would have misused him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it's better for him that he didn't end up in New York. I do think the NFL is moving towards these tweener type guys, and really what it is, I think it's a result of playmakers, or offensive play callers, I should say. Just embracing, right? Everybody in the NFL is looking for an edge. And I think these creative playmakers are scheming up these tweener type guys better, right? You're seeing a more hybrid edge position in that linebacker role being a lot more fluid. And you think about the ability to have a guy, maybe an undersized linebacker who in past years you would have written him off, and now he turns into Jeremy Chin, right? And so you have the ability, if you think critically about these guys, one of the advantages as well, we're coming up on Senior Bowl week here. Coaches have the ability to play these guys at the Senior Bowl in different positions. So NFL teams are able to see, all right, this is what this guy looks like as a strong safety. This is what he looks like, coming off of the edge. And you kind of get a little bit of flexibility there. When you look at the offensive side of the ball, there's a lot of talent in the NFL at the wide receiver position, right? There's different levels of it, and there's certainly elite talent and just good talent. But you look at the tight end position, and there is a huge teardrop, right, between who can actually go out there and make it difficult for a defense to scheme against, a la Kyle Pitts, right? And who is just going to be able to put his hand in the ground and smash the guy in front of him, which is valuable, right? But most teams are carrying 3 or 4 tight ends now. And they can rotate in, your Blake Bells to go in there and smash somebody in the face. But there's only enough Kyle Pitts is out there, right, that could actually open up the field. So I think for NFL teams, there's value in knowing that week, the defense needs to think differently about how they're going to scheme against you, right? So I like that you brought up the tight end position in general, because I think that's the position that offensive coaches are really looking to utilize as they try to find some edge to the game, right? We're always looking for a new edge on offense.
As you guys know, we are talking to creator of the Rookie Big Board, Matt Hicks. Matt, last question for me. The quarterbacks. Now, every year, we're trying to find that quarterback that's going to stand out and he's going to be the next big superstar in the NFL. Over the years, over the last 3 or 4 years, there was Kyler Murray. Last year, obviously, it was the traditional, obviously, Trevor Lawrence, where everybody says he's the no miss type of player. You're going to have a superstar. Zach Wilson, all these different quarterbacks. Justin Fields. This year, there isn't a quarterback that really stands out. I mean, there are a couple Lamar Jacksons. I say Lamar Jacksons because a couple of players really kind of mimic the way he plays, even though it's not working anymore in the NFL. Ask the Baltimore Ravens. Well, they might be looking for a quarterback in this year's draft. How about the kid from Pittsburgh, Pickett, who a lot of people really, really like? He's had a great year. The year before, he didn't really play well. But this year, he's really shown a lot of people why maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers should draft a quarterback and fill in for Ben Roethlisberger. Now he's retired. Is there a quarterback in this year's draft that you believe could be that next big superstar in the NFL?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think this is a good quarterback class in general. It's not a great class, and I think that's why it's getting knocked a little bit. You talked about Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is currently my quarterback one. I think he comes with a nice floor for an NFL team. There's not a ton that Kenny Pickett does at an elite level. I do think that he has very high level of accuracy. He has a very high level of mental processing, and he has great arm talent in the sense that he can really adjust his velocity on the ball at different levels of the field and fit the ball where it needs to go in a way where his receivers are going to get it. So I think Kenny Pickett comes with a nice high floor. He's not super mobile. He's athletic enough to move the pocket, and I think you can get by in today's NFL with that level of athleticism, right? You don't need to have that Lamar Jackson style. So I do think Kenny Pickett's going to end up being quarterback one, but when you're looking for somebody who has superstar potential in the NFL, Ole Miss's Matt Corral does really jump out to me. And the reason that I say that is that Matt Corral has only been a full-time starter in college for 1 year. And he earned that job as a redshirt sophomore. And so he really, relatively early in his career, he won that job. And now he's launched into the NFL. He's got a fantastic arm. He has great mobility. So he does have that dual threat potential there. And so I think if you're looking for ceiling, he's there. Malik Willis has upside. I mean, he has probably the most upside in this year's draft class. Huge arm, a pure athlete in terms of rushing ability, comfortable rushing the ball, good field vision, elusive in space. Now, Malik Willis, he needs to hone in those mechanics, right? And so what's unfortunate about the quarterback position in the NFL is Malik Willis, his success in the NFL is most likely going to depend on whether the organization he lands at is going to be good enough at developing him, right? Josh Allen landed in an organization that knew how to develop him. Malik Willis, I hope he does too because he's got great upside, but how many quarterbacks that are talented have we seen their talents wasted, right, in organizations that don't know how to develop
Russell
them?
Being one of them.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that was probably a little bit more on his own, but
Ryan Leaf?
I mean,
that was a lot on his own too.
Didn't help.
So last one for me, just one Super Bowl pick and one coach that you would like for the New York Giants.
Oh boy, that's a good one. I will say I don't know if it's a good pick. They're down a little bit right now. I'll tell you my homer pick. I would love the Bills to get in there, man. Okay. I don't know. It's just a team. I feel like organizationally, they've built this team the right way, right? They really scrapped that team down. They built it up the right way. A great fan base, super passionate fan base. So I would love to see the Bills get there. That's who I'll be rooting for. I don't know if that's a good pick. I'm not telling you to put your money on that, but that's where I'll put my interest in. And then coach for the Giants, man. I got to tell you, I haven't really dug into that. I have just been enjoying the last 24 hours, really embracing. And it's not just to slam Joe Judge, but the Giants have been an organization for so long, in my opinion, where they haven't wanted to adapt to what's going on in the NFL. And I just hope that in this front office change with the GM and the coach, that it is a full rehaul of their approach to the game, right? I mean, even during the championship seasons, right, we were always just kind of getting there and getting hot at the right time. I want them to really take a forward-thinking approach to the NFL. So I don't have perfect names for you yet, but I hope they're spicy. I hope they're not recycled coaches.
I got one who got fired for no damn reason, Brian Flores.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good coach, man. Good coach. I mean, come on, look at what he did with that. I mean, they were garbage on purpose, right, 3 years ago. They were intentionally bad. And he did great with that organization, well respected by the coaches from what a lot of folks are saying. So, yeah, that'd be great.
It made no sense.
They were intentionally bad, and they still kept the Colts out of the playoffs and the Patriots from getting a bye.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense in my eyes. I don't understand why but that's the Dolphins' way. I mean, with the ownership over there and the stupidity over there, ask Adam Gase. He's right now coaching high school football. Thank you, Jets, for bringing him in for 2 years and making me throw up.
We apologize to the high school that has to be coached by Adam Gase. And whatever potential high school is going to be coached by Joe Judge in the future.
Same guys, cross-division rivals. Maybe we got to put them in the same town.
He'll be the quarterback. He'll be the quarterback coach for that high school football team with Adam Gase.
Oh yeah,
what a team! Anyways, Matt, tell the fans how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm over on Twitter at the FF_educator.
And Matt, we'll definitely get you on again as the draft comes along. We like to get a bunch of our experts on at the same time and kind of go back and forth and ask trivia questions and see who knows more about going into this draft and who doesn't. And we'll give a prize to the winner. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do something like that, and we'll see who knows more about this draft. How's that sound?
That sounds great. I love a good prize.
Absolutely. Well, there will be. Maybe it'll be a Giants jersey, an official one, with the new coach on the back of it.
Hopefully a good prize. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Hopefully it's a player that'll still stay with the team for that time.
That's true, too. They'll probably all be gone by the end of next year. So, anyways, Matt, thank you for joining us, bud.
I appreciate it, fellas. Have a good night.